What is the pursuit of happiness for you? Is it to stay happy forever? Is it to grow high up in the success ladder and the success ladder of a corporate or a success ladder of your life? For me, I have always guilt in my mind that, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough for my kids. I'm not doing enough for my office. But still want to be happy. I still want to have that pursuit of happiness and continue in that state forever. But for the women in their midlives who are trying to juggle between multiple things in life and to climb up the ladder, it is not at all easy. But today I have with me Siji Varghese, and she's someone who has climbed the heights, who is out there, and she's empowering other women to come up on the top as well. So, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Renaissance with Swati. And today I have with me the CEO of Leaders in Lipstick, Siji Varghese. Hi, Siji. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over here. Really a privilege.
It's my pleasure. And, when you accepted my invite, I was like, I was on cloud nine.
Thank you.
Okay. So, CG, if I talk about your journey, you started from being in a finance sector to becoming the CEO of Leaders in Lipstick. How did that happen? And first of all, I really like your title, Leaders in Lipstick, right? It's very catchy
Yeah.
and it says what it says, right?
Yeah, it's one of the most quirkiest thing I could talk about. I always like to find something which is quirky. So when I come with names of my topics as well, it's as quirky as it can be. Thank you so much. So if you see, when in 1995, when I graduated with my microbiome biotech, MBA finance was something that seemed to be as the probable best thing for me, primarily because it was a time when your parents lead you to do what you have to do, right?
Of course.
You have less of what you want to do and more about what they want you to do. So it seemed that if I did my MBA in finance, that would be the best thing for me to get a good group. So that was the real reason that that happened there. Not that after doing science, I liked accounts and taxations. It was very difficult for me. Okay. Because coming from a science background, getting into taxation, finance, and all, it's quite a difficult task. Ajanta Pharma was the very first company which happened, and it took me as a finance executive directly with the CFO. Things turned out really beautiful because I had a mentor and a nurture in a CFO who really ensured that I learned quite a bit. Now, at that point in time, because I was not married, not having kids and stuff like that, I thought one point in time, I would also become the CEO or the CFO of a company because the CFO was my mentor, right? However, life had different plans, and I got married. I got two boys, and in the interim, my career also went through multiple switches, which also ensured that I was climbing the corporate ladder pretty fast. And there came a point in time when I was spending 12 to 14 hours at workplace and very little time with my growing up kids. And when they were like 4 and 8 years of age, that's when I decided that I can't carry on this a little more longer because I was missing on motherhood. I was not able to create that balance between motherhood and my corporate space. That's when I decided if I can't be a CEO in someone else's company, I could be my own CEO in my own company. Uh, so your aspirations are still there. It was more about the title at that point in time, and that's how getting into a space which was not something that I had done before, scary, a big huge risk because I was at the peak of my career, doing good with it, leaving apart all of that, leaving aside all of that, and starting something which you don't really have any knack about. The training, the learning and development space, totally clueless. But then you took the plunge because the boys were important at that point in time and they were my priorities. And I said, take a gyro. Whatever happens, happens. If nothing works for me, 3 saal ke baad I can always go back to the corporate world because I'm still in my mid-30s and people would still want me back. With that, I just took the plunge. So that's how the plunge happened.
Love your positivity, how positive you are. And just you said, right, that you always wanted to be the CEO. So becoming the CEO of your own enterprise, that is something wonderful. And I can understand कि वो seed तभी पैदा हो गया था when you wanted to become a CEO in your organization. But yes, life happened. But again, because that seed was there, you always can plant it, right? So that is really wonderful.
Thank you.
So, like you said, you're working 20 to 14 hours per day. I think a lot of women will resonate with that thought because today's corporate sector is like that. 9 to 5 is no longer there, and you have to work. The time is not limited now.
True.
You have to work, and in that juggling life, I was talking to my multiple friends a few days back, and they were all with this same mood that you just said, I'm not able to live up to my motherhood. They always had that mom guilt that मैं अपने बच्चों का बचपन नहीं देख पा रही हूँ.
Exactly.
So what advice do you have for such women?
Basis what I experienced in my life, I always feel if your intentions and priorities are right, if it's in place, you eventually reach where you have to reach. You may have initial hurdles, you may have initial obstacles, because the first 3 years were very tough for me. In terms of not being without my boys, I was with my boys having a gala time. But the lifestyle that we used to enjoy when I was having a career or job was totally compromised. And my husband at one point was feeling up, oh my God, I think our lifestyle is going to get compromised. I think you should go back to the workplace, because even after 1,000 days of putting in all that hard work and effort, things seem to be taking some time. It did not show that it's like happening. You quit your job and things are like, wow, everything is just mira start, sab kuch ho gaya. It takes time. Your brand needs time to get built up. People need time to trust you as whatever you are taken up. The credibility has to be built up. So many things. And then finally, just when I was about to think, should I go back to the corporate world, one client happened and the rest is history. So then
Wow.
1,000 workshops later, and with around 85,000 participants, with 3 TED Talks in the gambit, having a Karmaveer Chakra Award from the United Nations, being a part of multiple forums, where it's an invite only space. I said, life wouldn't have been more beautiful than this. Because when you are with a corporate, you are like a frog in the well, right? But when you're on your own, you have the entire ocean for yourself, and you evolve personally, you evolve professionally. You are in a different space. And I think what I would advise the women is that if you really have the intentions and priorities clear, just take the plunge and have fun.
Take the plunge and have fun. That's so beautiful. What stops many is that charm of a monthly salary, right? That, I can spend everything on everything on myself.
Yes. Yeah, and you need to give in the 3 years at least for you to see the
Okay.
results. Otherwise, it doesn't happen overnight, right? Nothing happens overnight.
Of
You
course.
have to nurture, you have to give, you don't have to lose hope, and you have to stay put. Because many of the entrepreneurs, they give up in the very first year. They feel that I have given good 12 months and nothing is working. Let me just go back to where I come from. So I guess 3 years, good time. 5 years, amazing. If you put in 5 years, trust me, you're never going back to the workplace again.
Great. So what kept you moving on, when you were in, like you said, a frog in the well, and then you came out in the ocean? What kept you swimming through the rough shores?
It was difficult, especially when your partner had tried to give up on you, saying that this is not working for you. It doesn't seem to be our cup of tea to getting
Okay.
into business or
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. And when someone gives up on you, you're feeling, okay, probably I'm not cut for it. I'm not made for it. I
Right.
should go back to what I was
Right.
doing good. And I was really doing good in my job. I had mentors who were really taking out the best from me. So I said, maybe I'm not. So there were times of confusion, there were times of doubt, there was times of no clarity. But as I said, sometimes just having the pure hope and positivity, you actually sail through a lot of things. Having said that, it's difficult. Obstacles and hurdles does have this own kind of issues. But what I feel is just that if you don't lose vision of your intentions and your priorities, because boys were my priorities at that point in time, trust me, because you've given your all, it has to show up. The results come through. It just comes through. You will Okay, there has been a time, I will tell you, after the 3 years, there has been when I have put very little effort and things used to fall in place. I would be like,
Wow.
wow, मैंने इतना मेहनत किया था पहला तभी कुछ नहीं होता था अभी कम मेहनत किया तो हो रहा था. But what I realized is that all that I put in for that last 3 years were reaping the rewards now.
Yeah.
And if I had given it up that time, all what I had put in for 3 years would have gone waste. And that would have been so sad.
That's wonderful. Your journey. It's so inspiring. And like you said, the fruits started reaping in after 3 years.
Yeah. And many of us gave up by that time thinking, ki, oh, nahi ho raha hai, chodo.
Huh. Because see, it's a big, 3 years is a big time, right?
Yes.
Right. So now, as you said, 1,000 workshops later, and receiving the UN Kamvi Chakra Award, being the on the forums of so many different organizations. How do you feel about it?
It's as you rightly said, there's this red carpet treatment that you feel privileged. You don't take any of your privileges for granted. Maybe I made some impact or some impression where they really wanted to have you on board because probably your story, because you plunged and took, could inspire others. And I've always believed, aspire to inspire before you expire. So, this is my favorite quote. I say aspire to inspire before you expire. So I feel many a time it's just being there, doing your best, giving your best gets you the rewards. And that's for everyone. And trust me, it happens. You trust the process and surrender to take the benefit. Trust me, it just falls in place.
Wow. Wow. That's so beautiful. And I think I can make it the motto of my life as well, aspire to inspire before I expire.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the UN Kamvi Chakra Award. Can you tell more about that? Is there
Yeah.
any story link behind that?
So, when you are in a part of an organization, you have an R&R at the end of every year, right?
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you are an entrepreneur, uh, there is nothing like an R&R. You
Right.
you you belong to yourself. You don't belong to an organization. So many a time your efforts, whatever you do, goes unnoticed. And so there was this organization which was looking forward for people who are making contributions in their own ways. So, as a part of Leaders in Lipstick, I also work with underprivileged women. So,
Wow.
whatever work that I had put in with underprivileged women, someone just took up note and said that she deserves to be given the due recognition for what she is putting for the underprivileged
Wow.
women. And that's how somebody nominated me. And they went through my entire profile. They went through the kind of work that I do. And finally, they decided to have me as one of the recipient of that
Wow.
particular award. Yeah,
Wow.
because an R&R in an organization at the year end, it keeps you going, right? It keeps you motivated because you need that recognition, that reward. As an entrepreneur, you have to figure it out for yourself unless and until someone just sits up and takes note that you're doing good work. So this was a really beautiful honor, and I love to have my tricolor in my house. It's a tricolor medal with a.
Wow.
It's one of my best possessions that I have.
Like you rightly said, right? We all need rewards. कि हाँ हम कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, हम जो कर रहे हैं, that is good because that constant validation you need, right?
Yes, absolutely. Especially when you don't get it at home, you need it from outside. So many
Totally
times
relate.
you're taken for granted, right? We too did that with our mothers, with our parents. We did not acknowledge it unless and until we ourselves went through that space. So yeah, so any form of recognition that keeps you going, that's important in life.
How
And
does your husband and kids feel about it?
oh, they are proud, especially my boys. And maybe because of the profession that I do, I have been able to align with my boys pretty well. So they are
Okay.
24 and 20 years of age as of now. So they actually slot me as a cool mother. And I feel that cool mother came because of the profession that I am, where you're continuously reinventing, you're connecting with a lot of people, you're connecting with different generations, you're trying to be understanding and empathetic towards many generations. So when it comes to your work being of that sort, and when you come back home and when you connect with the boys, the relationship really is beautiful because I kind of hear from all their friends, they will come and say, Chris's mom or Calvin's mom is very cool. And I'll say, wow, that's so sweet to hear. So, somewhere bridging their gap has been possible because of the kind of work that I do.
That's wonderful, being called a cool mom. And you do not look like your kids are 20 and 24 years in age. You still look very
Thank
young. So coming to Leaders in Lipstick, what is the vision and mission behind Leaders in Lipstick?
So you know what? When we started with Leaders in Lipstick, we had seen that there's very little representation of women in the senior level, right? There was just 4% of women in the C-suite kind of a thing. In the
True.
senior management, around 19%. But whereas in the mid-management, it was around 25%. So we feel that there was a big gap between what's in the mid to the seniors. And so we wanted to create more role models because there have to be role models because there are many women who aspire to be there, but because they don't see role models, they feel probably it's not possible. Because even today, if I say a CEO, people would always say, "Oh, what's his name? Who is he?" Right? It's a he, it's never a she.
Right.
So that says a lot about us. So we had decided that, by 2030, let's at least bring the ratio to 20% of women in the senior management. With that space, we wanted to work with women who are in the mid managers, where they are, dealing with family. They have this, super women syndrome, double burden, work burden, juggling between multiple things. We want to address all of that, including the guilt, including how to be able to take care of what you already have with your family, with your kids, and all of that, and still have what you can have with your aims and aspirations at the workplace, and how you can make your way up there so you can be a role model for someone who's aspiring to be there. So that was our motive, and it's spanning out pretty well because I have seen almost all women go through the same issues, be it from Gen X, be it from the millennials, be it from the Gen Zs. All the pains and aches are the same for every single woman. Like, yeah, I may be from Generation X, but you may be from a different generation, but because our pains are the same. And when you complete 50 years, you have a different pain set. So there's something that everyone goes through. So aligning with that, it was easier because we felt we need more role models and let's create that. That's about it.
And you became a role model. And to create a role model, you have to be a role model, right?
I guess that happens gradually when you are working with some motive and a purpose in life. It just shows up. It's not that you put it on like, hard face, okay, I have to get there, be there. It's just when you are having that internal motive and intent to create that space, somewhere without you knowing, everything just falls in place. Because if I look back and say 1,000 workshops, 18 international certifications, I'm like, when did I do that? I feel like it's like 28 years after my MBA now. I was like, wow, when did 28 years go? So I feel if I look back and say for everyone, little by little by little by little, everyone can get doing a lot many things. You can be here and you can be here and you can be here too. It's not that difficult. May not be easy at the initial stages of your motherhood, but eventually over a period of time, you're sorted. This is a wise word from somebody who's been there, done that, and finished with that aspect. Of course, boys, even after they're 24 and 20, needs you around. But I'm in a very good space at the moment, if you see, and it was all worth it.
Nice. So, like you said, that you work with different corporates, right? And you create programs for them, for the women there.
Yes.
Okay.
They are 6-month cohort programs. They are like journey programs moving from one level to another level. And then continuously having mentoring and coaching sessions from senior professionals across the country and globally too, so that they know that there are somebody whom they can reach out to uh, and have their learning curve reduced so that they can get there where others found it difficult to get. So they know what are the obstacles and how to work with it, how to handle situations, and how to be more vocal and expressive about it. So I guess this is what we empower them with so that they can make their way through. Already they are empowered in multiple ways, but in giving them those enablers and making themselves present or in having a presence, that makes all the difference. Otherwise, people acknowledge that women are able to do much better than many others.
So, do you think that, working 24/7 is something that makes you reach the top of the ladder? Because these days, I mean, I being in my early motherhood, like I feel like, unless I work 24/7, I can never be there.
Okay, I hear what you say, but I've also seen a trend which talks about micro retirement. And I was very amazed to hear that people are doing the right thing. So I heard that there are this particular generation, the Gen Zs, they work for like 3-4 years, and then they
Okay.
take a mini micro retirement, like they just disappear for 6-8 months, and then they restart. And I find that was a very beautiful trend to do, because I have realized when I put a lot of hard work, lot of work, my burnout is high. I get stressed out faster. I lose my interest faster. But if I have to space it out with enough break, I have seen that I feel rejuvenated, revitalized all the time. You have to be creative, and creativity comes only if there are breaks. You can't be putting 24 by 7 and still be the best in your space, because you've burnt out, you've stressed out,
True.
you fagged it out. So I feel what this current generation, some of the things that they do, I really admire, because micro retirement at my generation was unheard about. But
True.
yes, when I say a break is good, a break is good. Go learn something new, go learn something which is good for your career, go do something which is good for your soul, do something which is good for your spirit, health, whatever, and come back. And this time when you come back, you come back with extra gusto, with all the other experiences that you have. But break is important, 24 by 7. Don't ever do that, because तुम समय से पहले बूढ़ी हो जाओगे. And
They can see a white hair on my head right now.
actually, stress, drains of the melatonin, and the melatonin is the color black for you, right? So that's actually directly connected to the stress that you are processing. So yeah, give yourself a lot of micro breaks, and you deserve it. Why not?
That's wonderful, like you said, that taking a break is important and taking care of your mental health is important. Don't
Of
get
course,
burnout.
of course.
Yeah, because we often juggle and we forget about ourselves, right? There are points in our lives when we just forget about ourselves and we are just rotating in that vicious cycle
And you know
every
what
day.
happens at the end? You get into a deep shithole, and it takes you time to come out of that. So if you don't want to get into the shithole, give yourself the permission to go for breaks before you enter the shithole. Because otherwise, once you enter it, it takes you time to come out of it. And everybody gets through that if they have not given enough importance to take a break. That's a personal experience.
Okay. So, like you mentioned about micro retirement, so I've not seen that trend yet in my group, but it looks interesting. After a break of 6, 7 years, you can do anything. Like you said, you can do something for your soul, something for your spirit, and you can even learn different things.
Absolutely.
And you'll have a fresh perspective when you come out of
Absolutely. And you don't get burnt out, because you get burnt out doing the same thing, right? See,
it.
I
Right.
am passionate. When I started with my career in this training and development, I was telling my husband, I don't think I will retire ever in my life. Even if I'm 90 years old, I will be like training, coaching, and stuff like that. But I
Right.
already see myself getting weaned out of that, and I probably realize it's because I overdid it. So when you overdo, so when you were getting work, you did this work also, that work also, you picked up this also, you picked up that also, and you tend to stretch and overwork. And when you overwork, you feel बस हो गया यार अभी और नहीं. And then you realize ये तो तेरा passion था, and still you are saying this. And then I realized, yes, because I did not give myself enough breaks at that point in time, even my passion seems to be getting into me saying that अब बस हो गया, right? So that's how it negatively impacts you.
And I can so relate, as in, with my job, I started podcasting as a passion. And sometimes even that feels like a burden because if I don't take a break, it looks like, I have to be in that journey forever and ever because recording is one thing, editing is another thing altogether.
Absolutely.
So taking a break absolutely is very
Yeah,
important.
just go off the air for a couple of months and say, I'm not doing any podcast now. I don't have the stress of doing any podcast now.
Right. So, like you said, you worked for the underprivileged women as well. May I know more about that?
So there are women who come from the economic groups where they really have a tough time, and then they have to manage their family too. And
Mm.
there are men who are drunk and do nothing than enjoy the money that the wife earns getting into more drinking.
Mm.
So many a time you had to get these women into a state of awareness, get them more vocational training, like getting into tailoring, getting into, let's say, having their own salons, or, working in parlors. So getting them those skill set. rather than just being a maushi or a bai at someone's help as a domestic help in someone else's. There are multiple things that women can do. You could be in the packaging. So getting them to do those vocational courses, which you don't need an academic background. You can purely do it with your hard work and with whatever talent you have in each of the spaces. That kind of empowers them to be financially independent and help their children. It's like if you help a woman, the whole family gets helped. So they go around and ensure that their kids go to the right school. They are able to stand up for themselves, they're financially independent, and they can take decisions for themselves. So that gives them a lot of power because you made them financially independent. So that was one of the things that I was closely involved in.
That's wonderful. Empowering other women, right? That is so powerful, and especially the underprivileged, whom nobody thinks about, right?
Right.
Which is,
Yeah, there are many people who do many good things today. So when I went for the Karmavir Award, I was amazed with what all people do in life, how much they stretch, and then what you do, you feel it's so little. It's so minuscule because there are people who do so much out of their way. They stretch, they put in that extra effort to do that, and I'm feeling that they're so soul satisfied because they feel that their purpose and the meaning of life is so much more than they themselves. They have a bigger purpose than just focusing only on them. And that makes you feel so happy at the end of the day. So, yeah, I feel I've done very little when I see myself. When you go for a platform like this and you see what others have done, you feel you've hardly done anything. You should be a part of that space someday and you'll feel that how much it's there to contribute.
and I think that is what keeps you so humble and so grounded. You're so famous, like you said. You have received so many awards. You're on the board of so many beautiful forums, and you're conducting. You're famous, right? And you're doing so good in leaders and lipstick, but still you're so humble, so polite.
Thank you. Thanks for
So,
saying that.
so what
Um,
keeps you grounded?
I guess the more higher, like for example, if you are traveling by a plane
Mhm.
and when you look down, you find everything so small and you feel suddenly, Arey, you're so insignificant. When you see from up, you're hardly anyone. You're not even visible. It's like feeling that kind of space that there's so much goodness around there, so much people are doing. You really feel ki there's so much more to do. There's so much. So the more you see people, the more you be with people who are doing that, somewhere you feel you've not done enough, and probably that makes you feel, like, okay, I have a long way to go. I'm so insignificant. I have a lot more to do. This miles to go before I sleep.
Right.
Probably that's what keeps you on going, wanting to do more, because you're surrounded by people who are doing more, who are so your association with people makes a lot of difference of how you deal with yourself.
Of
So
course.
probably you could say to all of that associations have kept me grounded.
Wow. That's so powerful. And I think each and everyone who's at the top of the ladder or, successful right now should get inspiration from you.
And as you rightly said, success is very relative. For a person who is on the ventilator now, is to just be off the ventilator. For a person who is on the wheelchair now, is just to be able to walk. Now, these are things what we take for granted because I can breathe without a ventilator and I can walk without a support. And we do
Hmm.
not really know. And then for us, success takes different things as different terms. So success is very relative and it is on our different phases of our life. Like
True.
last year for me, success was if my son gets in through the college in Boston. That was success. And when he got through, I was very happy. Then immediately something else starts up. Then you're waiting for your second son to do that. So there's always it's very relative.
Right.
Your pursuit of happiness is always unendless. And sometimes you have to sit and think that it's not on anyone or anything that I have my happiness set. It should just be with me, the way I am. Sometimes I feel guilty for not being a great parent, But I feel my children deserve me as a mother because they had soul lessons to learn from me. So it's okay. I may not have been the perfect mom, but I would have been the perfect mom for my boys because they needed me for their journey. So that's how you keep yourself saying, okay, Siji, don't feel guilty, don't feel sad, stay happy. Whatever it is, you were supposed to be this way. So enjoy what you are. Enjoy the body and the physique that you have. Enjoy the looks that you have. Enjoy
Right.
the health that you have. Enjoy the family that you have. And I think because I lost my father very early in my life, I learned the bitter lesson of not taking anything for granted and to cherish the moments that you have because today you have it, tomorrow you don't. So the
Right.
moment is already gone. So my father's death uh, did teach me a lot of big lessons, life lessons in life.
Yeah, life is too short, right? We don't know what is going to happen next.
True. Absolutely true. Like you have small children right now. Trust me, there'll be one point in time you will be saying to me, Siji, they're grown 20, 24 years of age. Because I can feel it already. I feel like, oh my God, they were like small babies in my hand and they're already out of the nest. And I
So
didn't
true.
even know. I didn't even know. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still feel, my baby was just born. The elder one, she's 4, and I still feel she was just born.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the little one is forever the little one. She's 2.5 right now, and she's still that little baby to me, that she's just born.
True.
So yeah, children grow up very fast, life goes
And
on
we
too
grow
fast.
old very fast too. So enjoy what you have right now. Enjoy the great hair you have. Enjoy the beautiful teeth that you have. Enjoy the eyes without the glasses right now. It's all just there for some more time and it's gone.
True, that's so true, and that's so beautiful. So if it now that you have everything, right? You have power, you have money, you have fame. What do you feel is most important? Money, power, or fame?
Oh, wow. That's a very difficult question. Money, power, or fame so money is something that you will never have enough, trust me. Um, and Mukesh Ambani would still work for money, I'm sure, even if though he's the richest man there. Power is something I didn't feel that I had ever been there. And fame just happened because if you keep doing something which you love to do, probably fame comes to you. Um, I feel peace of mind is the best important thing. So money, power, and fame, sab chhod ke peace of mind. At the end of the day, if you're able to answer yourself three questions: Did I love today? Did I live today? And did I matter today? Then I think we have a good night's sleep very beautifully. So if I did I love today? Did I live today? And did I matter today? So if these three questions, if you have an answer, yes, yes, I love today. Yes, I live today. Yes, I matter today. Then I feel you sleep very beautifully in the night.
That's so powerful. Live, love, and matter. That's so important. That's so important. Seriously.
And
Love,
that's the only important thing. And we realize it very late in our life.
of course. Now I totally get that. I truly get that. So, what is the support system that you have, who keeps you moving on? Yes,
Okay,
because
I have two powerful women in my life.
oh,
One is my mom-in-law. She was a officer with the Post and Telegraph, and she worked till she was 60.
oh,
Okay. And when I got my second baby, she said, "You go back to work. I am retired now. I'll take care of the boys." So that was one. My father-in-law was another person who also ensured because he missed out his boy's childhood because he was 20 years in the Gulf. And so he tried to fulfill all of that, what he missed with his boys, with my boys. And I gave him the full this thing. And I was like always there. The first person in the morning to ring the bell in my house to take the boys to the school, bring them back from school, all of it. He found the purpose of his life through them. And my kids were blessed because they could have grandparents. I was super blessed because I had support.
right.
Then my mom lost dad when she was barely 52 years of age. And from there to what she did in her life, she was an income tax officer, a gazetted officer with income tax. She worked at 62. And so for her, it was like, I have got you MBA. Don't stay at home doing nothing. You're not supposed to just change diapers and bartan do. You have to do something more meaningful. She was the one who always, and strength from her is amazing because my brother went to the US for his higher studies and he never came back. So she was all by herself and such a lively, lovely lady. And to be herself, she's a monument of strength, a lot of strength, and she could still smile through without having my father, and my father was a sweetheart, and not having a partner with you for the last 25 years is a very tough call, right? So I
True.
see her smiling through all of it, and I think that's my support. She is always there if I whenever I need, for my boys, for anything and everything that I could look up to her. So all of them stay together close by.
Okay.
So my system is amazing. And last but not the least, my husband and my boys. They do have their role to play too, of pushing, nudging, giving me that space. In fact, my elder one invited me for the TED Talk in his college. So I
Wow.
had the privilege of one of the TED Talks thanks to my elder one. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm glad that they do what they do.
So wonderful. And that's what parents and parents-in-laws are all about, right? They always take care of you, they take care of your kids, and they always keep on nudging you to grow more. Like you said, your mom said कि बर्तन नहीं धोना है, खाली घर पे नहीं बैठना है, आपने स्टडी किया, आप जॉब करो. Keep on nudging you.
Yeah.
That's important. And your partner as well, right? They are the
Yeah,
biggest
because
support.
mom always said, I've put and invested so much in your study. Get to it. Because at that time they did not have access to so much of study. So they paid a lot of importance for our education.
That's so true. And in those times, I believe, and even today, there are people who think that the women who are homemakers, they're doing less, but I don't think so, right? I mean, they are doing their best. They are,
Everyone,
yeah.
everyone does. Exceptions are very little, but most of us, we tend to give 100 to 100%.
Of course. What would be your advice to all those women out there who are currently in their midlife crisis? They don't know where to go next, what to do next. What is the purpose of my life? How should I grow further? Should I leave my job? Should I continue? What would be your take on that?
I would always say just find a mentor for yourself who's already been there, done that, and just surrender to take benefit from their experiences. That's about it. That's about it. Don't do anything else. Just find yourself maybe in your own professional space. Maybe you get out in your LinkedIn or any other space, reach out for a mentor, and trust me, many of the women are more than happy to share what they have been through and to mentor you what you can get out of from and how to deal with life. And seeing life from a third person's perspective can give you a totally different perspective, which also ensures that you live a more fulfilling life, right? Obstacles and hurdles has to come because that's how life is, because that's what teaches you. No gains without pains.
No gain. Yeah. That is, one of my favorite quotes I used to use when I used to, do these speeches or debates in my college and school times that no gain, no pain.
Yeah, absolutely. So you need that pain to evolve and grow. Nothing
Right.
ever grew in a comfort zone. Everything grows in an outside the comfort zone, in the effort zone. So take the effort to reach out to a mentor. Uh, Trust me, life is sorted. Life is sorted if you get a good mentor who helps you out going there. Like, what you should do and what you should not do, and what you can expect at the end of this whole tunnel ending. Having a support system, having a support community, a support group, anything, taking support from peers or anybody whom you feel connected, compatible, go ahead and do that. Friends and other women, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Right.
So keep vibing and attracting that people. And trust me, for each phase of your life, you will have one woman who will help you out through that. It could be in the form of your sister, it could be your form of your mother-in-law, your mother, a friend, a colleague, a boss, someone, or someone totally a stranger, a random stranger whom you have met. But they give you just the answers that you need to hear.
That's so true. And I just start feeling now that why you're so successful in what you're doing because you're already inspiring me. I think you are the biggest and the most beautiful mentor out there that anyone can have.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that, really. Means a lot.
Yeah. So, what would be your key takeaways for today's podcast?
Okay, I really enjoyed, and I really enjoy this when especially it coming to topics which are very close to us, that you on a day-to-day basis that you struggle with and you try to keep coming out of it. You listen to others who comes out of it. Some things are relevant to you, some things are not. Some advices work for you, some don't. So be your own, your own intuitive. We always call as the internal navigation system. Keep it active. Joe, you know what fits in you, pick it up. What doesn't fit in you, just leave it. It's not for you. Never have the fear of missing out, because what is yours will come to you no matter what. And what's not yours, let it go. It doesn't matter. I always say keep the door open. Those who want to come in, come in. Happy to have you in. Those who want to go can go. Happy to let you go. Because our purpose together has got over. So we need to move on, have new purpose, have new meanings, and have new relationships. So, yeah. So there's somebody
And
at every face.
that's beautiful. And that reminds me of that TV series, right? I'm forgetting the name of three women with kids, and the door is always open. So, like you said, keep the door always open and let those things that are meant for you to come in and flow to you.
Absolutely. And those who have finished their work, they can go.
Yeah.
Whatever is finished, its work can go. And we don't keep it with ourselves and just let it flow. I believe live in the present because that's all yours.
Absolutely. Live in the present. Don't chase happiness. Don't chase money. Just be there. Be happy today. And that's what will solve your purpose.
You opened your eyes today? Yes, bingo, happy. There are so
Yeah,
many who did not see the morning today.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's there.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth, right? You
Yes.
wake up every day. You are thankful. Be
Yeah.
grateful for what you have.
I could do something more today with my life.
Yeah.
Did I love? Did I live? Did I matter?
Did I love? Did I love?
Did I
Did I
live?
live?
Did I
Did I
matter?
matter? Thank you. Thank you so much, Siji. It was so beautiful talking to you with all your beautiful insights. And like I said, you're so humble, so down to earth, and you inspire with your aura, right? Your aura is out there telling everyone that you're one of the most beautiful women out there who's helping other women to become more beautiful every day.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being my guest. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.